mind.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mary Jo. Deepak, you give off a tremendous amount of energy. I mean, I can feel it through the airwaves, and I'm sure millions of other people can as well. Have you ever been next to someone who drains that energy, where you have to get away from that person?
Well, there are people that drain your energy, but you should not allow yourself to have that happen. And, I have always maintained centered awareness, and that when I'm in a situation where I immediately sense that the energy is being drained, I go back to my connection with my own soul, and I literally create a shield around myself which protects me from draining that energy.
Let's go to our wild card line. Your turn. You're on Coast to Coast with us. Hi there.
Hi, George. Hi, Doctor. How you doing?
Hi, really
Great.
good.
Real honor to talk to both of you. Just got a quick question, and this is Don from Simi Valley. Doctor, do you get sick? Do you overcome things easier? Do you get a cold and it's down in a couple of days?
I'll be totally 100% honest with you right now.
Yeah.
I haven't been sick in the last 30 years.
Well, I'm a believer in positive thinking.
Right. I haven't been sick. My children don't get sick. My wife has not been sick. And whatever it is, we don't even think about it.
Well, I believe if you believe in it, I've done this for long periods of time. I never got a cold or anything.
Yes.
And I didn't start getting a cold until I went through divorce. And slowly, when that pain went away and I got back in the right mindset, I wasn't sick anymore. I mean, everything. No headaches, nothing, anything. I'm 43.
Well, when anybody's stressed, then, of course, the immune system gets weak and they're more prone to infections.
In which I believe in. And one last thing for your viewers out there, if you guys could pray for my sister, Diane Murphy, I would appreciate it. And,
before you go,
yes,
post a prayer on the Chopra website. We have a prayer board, and we will pray for her. But you should first go there on the Chopra.com prayer board. You can click on it, post a prayer for your sister, and you'll soon see that thousands of us will be praying for her.
Big believer. God bless you guys, and have a beautiful night.
Thank you. And go ahead, by all means, get on that website. I've seen people sometimes who say, Deepak, that they've never had a cold they say, I'm not sick. I've never had a cold. And then 2 days later, they get a cold.
Because they're getting very cocky about it, proud about it, egocentric about it.
Yep, they do. They let their guard down.
Yeah.
Let's go to our first-time caller line. Welcome to Coast to Coast. Hi there.
Hi, this is Dennis. Hi, Deepak and George.
Hello, Dennis.
Peace and love to you both. Deepak, I've been doing a lot of internal work the last couple of years in regards to abundance, and it's almost uncanny how much abundance I've brought into my life, except for cash. I'm struggling with cash. But I mean, I know that what I've done is deep and has a lot of meaning and has worked on so many levels, but I'm still struggling with money.
Well, there is something in you that says that abundance is possible everywhere else except in this area. So you have to really now focus on that one particular form of abundance. And also, don't think that cash will solve all problems. You should think in terms of ability to do what you want. So if you think about money too much, if you worry about money too much, then you'll always remain poor. But when you say, I want the ability to feed my family, to feed other people, to take care of this situation, to buy this house, then you will see that there will be flow of that energy. But to think and worry about money only assures you that you will never have enough. In fact, lots of people have enough money and they worry about it and they still feel that they don't have any.
I've seen people, Deepak, with so much money, and they are miserable humans. They're not happy. They're not happy at all. I see it happen all the time.
Yeah.
Money will not make you happy. You've got to be happy within first.
Right.
And, most people would rather have than not, but, you have to have that foundation. Which leads me up to this, before we come up to the break here. Is there an intelligence behind this that is helping get these things done, or are we merely doing it all by ourselves?
No, we don't do anything by ourselves. We participate with that higher intelligence. There's an intelligence. There's individual intelligence, there's collective intelligence, and there's the universal intelligence.
Some would call that
God.
Okay.
And so without the help of that universal intelligence, nothing would be possible.
So you have to learn, though, how to tap into that, don't you?
You have to learn, and we should at some point go into those steps.
Yes, we'll do that when we come back, and we'll continue chatting with people as well. This is, I tell you, exciting. And I'm also, by the way, let me thank you now for making yourself available for us such a long interview.
Well, no, thank you, and thank you for introducing the book to your audience.
Is the book on the bookstores now?
Yes,
Is it out
it's
there?
already on many bestseller lists, and people are really writing in their experiences on the website as well.
I'll make you a promise that within 2 days after your appearance on Coast to Coast here, you will see more copies sold in the hands of people who need it than you've ever seen anything.
I believe you very much, George.
Stay with us. I'll be back in a moment with your phone calls, this special edition of Coast to Coast AM. Dr. Chopra, do you watch what you eat in your family? Do you eat the right kinds of foods and things like that?
We do, and we have simple principles like eat the 7 colors of the rainbow every day, enjoy 6 tastes, eat consciously, don't eat anything that comes from a can or has a label, buy fresh organic food. Most importantly, listen to your body.
Your body tells you a lot, doesn't it?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Your body is a genius.
Some of the specific steps of awareness you wanted to talk with us about.
Yes. The things that I wanted to say is how do you start to harness the power of coincidence? And in the book, Spontaneous Fulfillment of Desire, I talk about 7 steps to that and actually give people affirmations. But the first step is how do you learn to see the universe as an extension of your own self, as your extended body, because it is. The earth is your body. Your body is made out of recycled dust. The rivers and the waters are your body fluids. The trees are your lungs. The air is your breath. How do you start to have an intimate relationship and with your environment, with other people, with animals, with plants? So that's the first step that I teach in the book. The second is, how do you learn from the mirror of relationship? Because those that we are attracted to and those that we are repelled by are both projections of our own self. They're mirrors of our own self. We are attracted to those people in whom we find traits that we have but want more of. Mm-hmm. We are repelled by those people in whom we have traits that we deny in ourselves. We all have shadows, and if you don't have a shadow, then you must be standing in the darkness. So it is important to confront those shadows, to embrace those shadows, and to recognize that to have certain weaknesses is not to be flawed, but to be complete. So you're not judgmental about yourself, you're not judgmental about others as well, and when you have that absence of judgment, then you invite the flow of spirit or consciousness to participate in that synchronicity. The third step is to learn from your internal dialogue. If your internal dialogue comes from your ego, it's always seeking for approval, it is scared of criticism, it responds to flattery, it wants to control. On the other hand, if your internal dialogue is coming from your spirit or your soul, then it feels neither superior nor inferior. It is immune to flattery and to criticism. And there is no fear because the fear comes from the ego. The fifth step is to learn how to go beyond emotional turbulence, because as long as you have anger and resentment and grievances and hostility and fear and guilt and depression, you are going to overshadow the field of spirit which connects everything with everything else. How do you learn to observe your own emotions? There's a saying in Indian philosophy that the highest form of human intelligence is the ability to observe your emotions without manipulating them. How do you observe them? How do you label them? How do you express them? How do you share them? How do you celebrate the sharing? How do you release them through ritual? And how do you move on? That's the next step. And then the next step after that is how do you embrace both the masculine and the feminine in your own being? Can you be a man and still have the qualities for appreciation of beauty and intuition and creativity and tenderness and affection?
Do you overcome things easier? Do you get a cold and it's down in a couple of days?
I'll be totally 100% honest with you right now.
Yeah.
I haven't been sick in the last 30 years.
Well, I'm a believer in positive thinking.
Right. I haven't been sick. My awareness, and that when I'm in a situation where I immediately sense that the energy is being drained, I go back to my connection with my own soul, and I literally create a shield around myself which protects me from draining that energy.
Let's go to our wild card line. Your turn. You're on Coast to Coast with us. Hi there.
Hi, George. Hi, Doctor. How you doing?
Hi, really
Great.
good.
Real honor to talk to both of you. Just got a quick question, and this is Don from Simi Valley. Doctor, do you get sick?
Mind.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mary Jo. Deepak, you give off a tremendous amount of energy. I mean, I can feel it through the airwaves, and I'm sure millions of other people can as well. Have you ever been next to someone who drains that energy, where you have to get away from that person?
Well, there are people that drain your energy, but you should not allow yourself to have that happen. And, I have always maintained centered awareness